Hello dear friends, myself Nitin, and today we will be covering another topic of geography, that is drainage system and watersheds. This topic is again a part of Indian geography, means unit 1 physical setting. So note down this: drainage system and water sheds. As we used to do it, we will cover this topic also in a very structured manner. So I would request you all to have a copy and pen with you so that you can make notes from this video lecture. So means firstly we will note down the headings what we will be covering under this main topic, drainage system and watershed. So note down the headings. First heading is what do we mean by drainage system and water sheds. So first question itself is that means the definition of these two terms, drainage system and watersheds. So this is the first heading or the first heading means under this topic, first heading which we will be covering. Second heading is different types of drainage systems in India. This is the second heading. Third heading is drainage or you can write here difference between Himalayan drainage system and peninsular drainage system. This is the third heading which we will be covering under this. Fourth one is drainage pattern and its types. This is the fourth one. Fifth one is watershed management, principles of watershed management and importance of watershed. I am writing watershed management as WSM, watershed management. And so mainly we will be covering these 5 topics under this main heading, that is drainage system and watershed, or means under this topic we will be covering these subtopics. So note down this. Then we will start with our first means heading, that is what do we mean by drainage system and watersheds. So what we will be doing is that we will be noting down few important definitions, and once you note down, then I will be explaining it to you, the meaning of those keywords or those definitions. So we will start with definition of watershed. Note down this, watershed. What do we mean by this term watershed? So we can define watershed as it is a geohydrological unit that covers all the area. Now area here refers to forest, agricultural land, urban and rural land, as well as aquifers. Okay, so it is a geohydrological unit that covers all the area that contributes water runoff to a single drainage point or outlet. So this is the definition of watershed. You can note down it. What is watershed? It is a geohydrological unit that covers all the area. All the area means whether it is of forest, agricultural land, urban land, rural land, or even the groundwater. That means aquifers. All that area that contributes water runoff to a single drainage point or outlet. Now we have several keywords under this definition. We will try to understand those keywords, so that means you are easily able to understand the definition of watershed, because if you understand the definition of watershed, it will be easy for you to understand the several other definitions which will be used here in this under this topic. So I am considering this as a river. This is the main river. Now what we will have, that this river would be having a tributary, means a left bank tributary. Also this river can have a right bank tributary. So I am just drawing like this. Again we may have a second left bank tributary, and then we may have a second right bank tributary, similarly third, and this is third right bank tributary. So this is the main river, and these are means different other small rivers. Now if I talk about this means tributary or this river again will be having few other sources for water, say this stream, then here can be another stream for this river. Stream here means another water sources for this river, or say similarly this river may have this stream and say this stream. Okay, also this stream would not be like this. This stream would be means having small channels, means from where the water is going into this stream. So say this river is having few channels. Similarly, this river may be having few channels. Similarly, these, and similarly these all. So I think you people may be understanding that what happens, that the water which comes down the earth in the form of rainfall, means that water, what happens, it moves, it drains in a form of channel. See, actually you need to understand the meaning of this term drainage. See, what is the meaning of drain? Drain means moving of liquid from one place to another, or moving of water from one place to another, that is drain. What is drainage? When we talk about drainage, then the moving of water in a well-defined channel is known as drainage. Means the water which comes to the earth in the form of rainfall, that used to move in a proper channel to a river or mainstream. So that is known as drainage. Similarly, we see in our homes, means the water which is collected in the sink or other places, that used to drain properly through a pipe or through a channel. So that is means it used to drain in a well-defined channel. So that is what is the definition of drainage. So drain and drainage. So similarly, what we have here, means in this diagram you can see that as per the definition, what will happen, means the water will be draining in the form of small channels. So the smaller unit is channels, means or in Hindi we call it nali, means in small channels, छोटी छोटी नालियां होती हैं, तो water used to drain in that manner. Now these channels means several channels combine to form a stream. Remember the second term? This is stream. Means when several small channels they combine, then that leads to formation of a stream. The stream will have, of course, have a greater length, greater volume of water in compared to small channels. Then several streams combine to form a tributary. So note down this third term. What do you mean by tributary? Means it is several small streams. When they combine, they lead to formation of tributary. And finally, when several tributaries combine, they lead to formation of proper river. So what is river? It is nothing but a combination of several tributaries. Okay, so for example, you can see about Ganga river. Means Ganga means by the name there is no river originating as Ganga. Gomukh, a river name as Bhagirathi used to originate. Later, then several other tributaries used to join it. For example, Alaknanda, Dolly Ganga, Pindar Ganga, Nandini, several other means tributary used to join it, and at the confluence of between means of Alaknanda and Bhagirathi at Devprayag, then it is called as Ganga. So this is what I have written here, means a river is nothing but a combination of several tributaries. So now if you are clear with this, now we will be moving to this diagram. See here in this diagram also, this is the main river which I have written here. This is straight one, horizontal one. This is the main river. Then we have written here several streams combined to form a tributary. Now these are tributaries. These are tributaries for this river. Now before this, what we have written, several channels combined to form a stream. Now these small are channels, and now these channels have combined to form as a stream. So what is this? This is the stream. This is channel. This is channel. This one is tributary, and this one is main river. So remember this. Now we will come to our definition of, if you remember this, now we will come to our definition of watershed. It is a geohydrological unit. So the first key term here is geohydrological. What do you mean by geohydrological? Geohydrological here refers to, hydrology refers to water and geo refers to earth. So geohydrological here refers to, means groundwater. Groundwater means the water present over the surface of the earth as well as that is present beneath the or within the surface of the earth, that is groundwater or the water of the aquifers. So the water which will be present over the surface will be present either over the agricultural land or over the urban land, rural land or forest, and the groundwater will be present in the form of aquifer. Also means it also includes rivers, means area covered by the rivers. So you can write here, means area covered by streams or rivers. Means all this area covered by these streams or these tributaries. You can write here streams, tributaries, rivers or channels. These also are included. Then forest, agricultural land and all. So it is a geohydrological unit that covers all the area. All the area here refers to, means if this is a channel and it is joining here, and I consider this, now what I will be doing is that I will be marking the watershed of this channel, this small channel. So as per definition, it is a geohydrological unit that covers all the area, means channel, stream, tributaries, river, forest, agricultural land, urban land, rural aquifers, that contribute water runoff. Water runoff means all the water which is coming to that particular point from all the sources to a single drainage point or outlet. This is very important. Single drainage point and outlet. We have to choose a single point where all the water is getting collected. Why we are choosing a single point? Because this will help us to mark the watershed of different different rivers or different tributaries. Okay. So if I consider this as a channel, this will have a drainage point here. Means this channel is draining all its water here at this point. So what we will do, we will have a watershed of this drainage point. Watershed is always of drainage point, means we will define watershed for drainage point. So for this drainage point, what will be the watershed? It will be all the area covered by under this. Means because this is a channel, or this channel may have several other small channels, for example from here, this way. So all the area which will be covered, or all the area means which includes this water runoff, means water is running off from all this area into this small channel, and the draining point of this channel is here at this point. So for this drainage point, what will be the watershed? Watershed will be all this area. All this area will be drainage means watershed for this drainage point. Similarly, if I talk about this drainage point, this is also drainage point. Why drainage point? Because see, water from all these sources is getting drained here at this point. So if I talk about this drainage point, what will be the watershed of this drainage point? The watershed of this drainage point will be all this area, this complete area. Why this complete area? Why this will be watershed of this drainage point. Why we are taking this complete area? Because see, means what are the sources for water at this point? See, firstly, water is coming from this source, means it will be covering all this area. Then this source, this is another source for water getting into this main stream. Then we have this source, then we have this source. So if we take these small drainage points, all these will have their own watershed. For example, this drainage point will have this watershed, this drainage point will have this watershed, this drainage point will have this watershed. All these combine to form watershed for this bigger drainage point. I hope you people are understanding. So we can write, see what happens, these small watershed, what we call it, small watershed are called sub watershed. Means these small watersheds, these are all watersheds. Okay, these small watersheds are called sub watersheds, and several sub watersheds combine to form a watershed. Means several sub watersheds, they combine to form a watershed. So what happens that these small watersheds, which are known as sub watersheds, see, these have combined to form this watershed of this bigger drainage point. So remember few things. Watershed is always defined for a drainage point. The smaller watersheds are known as sub watersheds, and small sub watersheds, they combine to form a bigger watershed. So you can see here that we have drainage point this, and this will be having watershed of this region. Similarly, this will be a drainage point. This will be a drainage point. See, why drainage point? Because see, water is coming from all around, and all water is getting drained here. So if I talk about watershed of this drainage point, we will have a more bigger area. Say this one. This will be watershed of this drainage point. This drainage point will have this watershed. Now this watershed will again have watershed of this drainage point, watershed of this drainage point, watershed of this drainage point, watershed of this. So I hope you people are clear. This how we define watershed, what are sub watershed, and so in this manner, means this drainage point will have a bigger watershed, which will combine smaller watersheds and sub watersheds of different streams. Means this drainage point is a drainage point of a tributary, which consists of, this tributary consists of several streams. Now all those streams have watersheds, but all those streams have channels. So those channels have sub watersheds. So finally, what we can say that the drainage point of this tributary is nothing but a combination of sub watersheds of channels or watersheds of the streams. So this is all about the definition of watershed. If you have noted it down, now then we will be moving to other definitions. You can draw this. I hope you people have understood it. You can write this, and then we will be moving to a few other definitions. So see, in this diagram, as we have already seen that what do we mean by watershed. So if I talk about this drainage point, now you can easily tell that for this drainage point, what will be the watershed for this drainage point. So the water means we will have to look that water at this drainage point is coming from what all sources. So this we see here that what means water is coming from this source, from this tributary, from here, from this tributary, from this tributary, this tributary, this tributary, and all these tributaries have their own watershed, this one, this one, this one. So means if I talk about this drainage point and if I say that what will be the watershed for this drainage point, of course it will be a large watershed, this large watershed which covers small watersheds of tributaries. Means what we can say that watershed for a river is nothing but a combination of watersheds of its tributaries. Means whatever the tributaries a river is having, all its tributaries have their own watershed. And if I say that what will be the watershed of that particular river, it is nothing but the sum total or the overall combination of watersheds of its tributaries, the tributaries of the river. So remember this. And of course this drainage point, this will be the drainage point, means this point will be where the river is now going to drain into ocean or sea. Okay, this will be the last drainage point of this river, this main river. We have already seen that there are several tributaries, then these tributaries have several streams, and then these streams have several channels. Now these streams have several channels. So in the diagram you can mark it down: channel, stream, tributary, sea channel. This one is the stream and this one is tributary and this one is main river and this one is the watershed of main river. Now note down few other definitions which are very important, and with the help of those definitions we will try to understand few other concepts. One definition is drainage. What do we mean by drainage? You can write the flow or movement of water in a well defined channel is called drainage. So this is the definition of drainage. The flow or the movement of water in a well defined channel is called drainage. Then continuing further, the network of such drainages is called drainage system. This is the second definition. What do we mean by drainage system? Drainage system is nothing but a combination of several drainages, or it is a network of such drainages. Network means combination of large number of drainages. That is known as drainage system. Then moving further, what do we mean by drainage pattern? The shape formed by drainage system, the shape formed by a drainage system is called drainage pattern. See, we have several drainages, we have several drainage system. So different drainage system used to form different shapes. Shape means these drainage system can be, say, in the form of branches of a tree. Okay, these drainage system can be something like this, means rectangular in shape. These drainage system can be something like this, means parallel. Means these drainage systems can form different kind of shapes. So those shape is known as nothing but drainage pattern. So this was the third important definition. Now you might have frequently seen these few terms: watershed, which we have already discussed. Then we have catchment area. Then we have drainage basin. Then we have river basin. These four terms you might have heard frequently. Okay. See, these are nothing but same word, but we use it at different places. Where we use it? See, when we talk about small area, then that is known as watershed. Okay. Watershed will be mainly for this tributaries. For streams, remember this, for streams and channels, what we have? We have sub-watershed. What we have? Sub-watersheds. Means the area which is included in the water runoff. The area which is included in the water runoff for streams and channel, that combine to form sub-watershed. For tributaries, we generally have watersheds. Now this term catchment area, this is also same thing, but we use catchment areas for small rivers. We use the term catchment areas. Means this catchment area is nothing but the same watershed, but the only thing is that we use means watershed is for smaller, means as watershed is for the smallest smallest channel or smallest stream, or for the smallest area. Bigger than that will be called watershed. More bigger than that, we call it as catchment areas. See, for example, here I have made this river, main river. Consider this to be a Ganga river. Okay, but we also have several other rivers. Now, for example, Yamuna. Yamuna is nothing but a tributary of Ganga. Means though Yamuna doesn't come like this, but I'm just marking at an example. We know that Yamuna used to come like this and join this Yamuna. This is a tributary of this river Ganga. So this Ganga means this Ganga will have a drainage basin or river basin. These two words, drainage basin and river basin, they are same. Okay. So this Ganga will have a drainage basin. For bigger rivers, we use the term drainage basin or river basin. For bigger rivers, means area covered under the runoff, means complete runoff, the area covered. For bigger rivers, we use these terms drainage basin or river basin. For smaller rivers, we use catchment area. For their tributaries, we use the term watersheds. And for streams and channels, means for more smaller, we use this term sub-watershed. So note down this. For example, here we can see that for this Ganga river, this whole area will be a watershed itself, but we will not call it watershed, rather we will call it as drainage basin. Drainage basin. Basin you can understand like wash basin. Means what happens in wash basin, when we open the tap, water from all around gets drained to a particular drainage point. Water used to get collected from all these means area, all the surfaces, and it get drained into particular point. So here drainage basin here refers to water is getting drained from all the points here in this area and getting drained at a single point, the main drainage point of this river. So this bigger watershed we will call it as drainage basin rather than watershed, because it is of Ganga river, which is a very long river. Now this drainage basin of Ganga river will have catchment areas of river Yamuna. Why? Because Yamuna is a tributary for river Ganga, but we know that Yamuna itself has means it is not a smaller river, because Yamuna itself has several tributaries. Like we know that those rivers, for example, Chambal and means different other rivers which you Sindh. All these rivers used to move from the plateau of here from Madhya Pradesh, and they used to move and join this Yamuna river. So what we will have catchment areas for this Yamuna river. Similarly, we will have catchment areas for what we can call it, for example, in the right bank of this main river Ganga, we have rivers like, say, Kosi. Okay, we have the river Kosi here. Now we know that this river Kosi has several other small rivers. Okay, or several means if this river is large enough to be called as catchment area, to have a catchment area, rather than calling it as to have a watershed, we may call it as for river Kosi has a catchment area. Even if you call it watershed, it is not wrong, but I am just telling you the way why what is the difference between using these terms. So I hope you people are understanding. Means for small rivers, for example, which are tributaries of this bigger river, for example here Yamuna, Kosi, we use the term catchment area. For smaller tributaries, for example, say for this river, for example, of Son river. Son river is a bigger river which has large number of tributaries. For that also, for say Son river, we will again use this term catchment area. Catchment area for Son river. Then we have several small tributaries of this Ganga. For example, say Bagmati, we have Mahanadi, then we have Gandak, then we have Sharda, then we have Ghagra. All these are small rivers or tributaries of this Ganga. For those, we will use this term watershed. So we can write here Sharda, okay, then Ghagra, then say Gandak, then Bagmati, okay, then Mahanadi. All these will be said to have water shed. So I hope you are clear with this definition, and I hope you people have made this diagram to understand this, and you people have written these definitions. That these four terms used frequently, watershed, catchment area, drainage basin or river basin, these are nothing but same thing, but we use it differently because of the area covered. This drainage basin or river basin, this is used for very big rivers, for larger watersheds. For example, we have seen in case of Ganga river, the watershed of Ganga river will be not called as watershed, rather it will be called as drainage basin. Similarly, the tributaries or the tributaries of Ganga river, there will be several tributaries, small tributaries and big tributaries. Those big tributaries which are, or in other words, the small rivers, the area covered or the area covered under a runoff for them will be called as catchment areas, or the watershed. Watershed for these small rivers will be called as catchment areas. Okay. Then for smaller tributaries, the watershed for these tributaries, this will be called as watershed itself. And the streams and the channels which used to form these tributaries, the watershed for that streams or channels will be called as sub-watershed. So note down this quickly, and then we will be moving to few other concepts of this chapter. Now we will be moving to drainage system. We have already seen the definitions for drainage system, watershed, drainage basin and all. So now we will be moving to drainage system. You know, drainage system is nothing but a network of channels. A network of channel is known as drainage system. In India, the drainage system has been mainly divided into two types based on the amount of discharge and the area or the place of discharge of the water. So the first is Bay of Bengal, drainage, and next one is Arabian Sea drainage. Arabian Sea drainage. By Bay of Bengal drainage, we mean that the rivers which are having their mouth or which are draining the water into the Bay of Bengal region, that is on the eastern side or the eastern coast of India. Then Arabian Sea drainage means all those rivers which are draining into the Arabian Sea or on the west side of India. So in actual what happens that 77% of total water being drained from India, or total of the total amount of drainage system, 77% of it, 77% of total drainage in India, 77% of the total drainage in India is in the Bay of Bengal region, while the other 23% of total drainage is in Arabian Sea. So remember this is an important fact, means maximum amount of rivers which are originating whether in India or outside India and flowing within India, 77% of them they drain into west of means Bay of Bengal region or on the eastern side of India, while 23% of the total drainage is in the Arabian Sea. Means we have very less amount of drainage in the Arabian Sea or on the western side of India. Now we will see few major rivers which used to drain in the Bay of Bengal region. We have Brahmaputra, we have Ganga, then in the peninsular regions we have Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. These are few major rivers which used to drain their water in the Bay of Bengal region or form a part of the Bay of Bengal drainage. Similarly, we will see for Arabian Sea, these are Narmada, Indus. See, maximum part of Indus drainage basin is not in India, it is in Pakistan. For Indus, we have only say 30% of its drainage basin in India, while 70% of the drainage basin of Indus is in Pakistan. So remember this, but still we will see about Indus also, means tributaries of Indus, or about we will study about Indus river system. So Narmada, Indus, Tapi, Mahi, Sabarmati. These are very small rivers, but since they drain into Arabian Sea, I am writing it down here. Then we have Periyar. Periyar is in, this river is in Kerala. So these are few, I have written the name of few rivers which used to drain in the Arabian Sea. So what we will be doing is that, see, mainly from this portion, questions which are asked in the objective type or in the prelims examination, they generally used to ask about the tributaries of various rivers, or they may ask you about arranging the tributaries either from west to east or from north to south, or they may ask you about left bank or right bank tributary. So what we will be doing, we will be studying, means about, we will be seeing the tributaries for all these major rivers, means Brahmaputra, Ganga, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Similarly, we will see their origin and their mouth and few other important facts if they are available about this river. We will be noting it down here. So if you have noted down this, we will start with Brahmaputra river. So we will be starting with river Brahmaputra. So we will be starting with Brahmaputra river system. Brahmaputra river system. This is the first one. We will study only the important ones, means from where questions are generally framed. So you can write down this and you can make this diagram. See, river Brahmaputra, it originates from the Chemayung Dung Glacier near the Mansarovar Lake in Tibet region. It originates in the Tibet region. From which glacier? Chemayung Dung Glacier. And where it is located? It is located in Tibet region near Mansarovar Lake and in the north of the Kailash range. So you should remember the origin of the river Brahmaputra. Where it used to originate? It used to originate in the Tibet region. From which glacier? From this glacier. And where it used to drain its water? It used to drain its water, or its mouth is in the Bay of Bengal region. So this is the starting point and this is the ending point of river Brahmaputra. Now this river Brahmaputra, it is known as Yarlung Tasangpo in Tibet region. It is known as Brahmaputra only when it enters India through Arunachal Pradesh. Before that, it is known as Yarlung Tasangpo. So sometimes you are asked that which river in India is known by this name, Yarlung Tasangpo, or what is the name of the river Brahmaputra in Tibet region. So it is Yarlung Tasangpo. Then we have few important tributaries of this river Brahmaputra. See, this river Brahmaputra is coming from here, originating at near the Mansarovar Lake, and in the Tibet region it used to move like this. And then here we have a mountain named as Namcha Barwa, which is a peak of Himalaya. Okay. This river Brahmaputra used to turn from this mountain peak, from Namcha Barwa, and from when this Namcha Barwa is located where? It is located in the Tibet and Arunachal Pradesh of India, at the boundary of Tibet and Arunachal Pradesh of India. This river Brahmaputra used to turn into India from this mountain region. So remember the name Namcha Barwa, because several times you are asked that river Brahmaputra used to make U-shaped turn and enter into India from which mountain, then you need to name it as Namcha Barwa. Then we have means once the river has turned here, this river Brahmaputra has several tributaries. Means tributaries are either right bank or left bank. So how we decide whether a tributary is right bank or left bank? You have to face, means toward the mouth of the river. For example, mouth of the river means, for example, in this case, the mouth is here, or the movement of the river is in this direction in case of India. So we have to face in this portion, in this direction, and whatever rivers are coming from this side, from the right hand side, that they will be right bank tributaries, and whatever will be coming from left side, means from below here, they will be left bank tributaries. So note down this, that the extreme left tribute or the extreme right tributary of river Brahmaputra is Lohit, while the extreme left will be Tista. You need to remember like LS, means sorry, LT. Remember these two names, Lohit and Tista, LT. This one is extreme right and this one is extreme left. Because in the examination generally you are asked that you will be given 4 options and you will be asked that which of these is not a tributary of Brahmaputra. This is generally asked in one day exams, mainly in smaller exams, but in higher exams, for example in state PCS or in UPSC, generally you are given these names and you are asked to arrange them from east to west. So you have to remember these names. First one from the east, when we will start, the first one comes as Lohit. Then we have Dibang. Then we have Dihang. These are tributaries of this Brahmaputra river, right bank tributaries. You can remember that B comes before H, so Dibang will be coming before Dihang. So after Lohit, we have Dibang, Dihang. Then we have Subasari. Then we have Kameng. Then we have Manas. Then we have Sankos, and Tista you have already remembered. We means you already know that this Tista used to means start from Sikkim, and then it used to join this Brahmaputra in Bangladesh region. So remember this. Remember the first and the last initially. Lohit will be the extreme right, Tista will be the extreme left. Then we have Dibang and Dihang. B comes before H, so Dibang and Dihang. Then we have, you just need to remember this Kameng is between Subasari and Manas, otherwise you can remember this SMS. SMS as we used to send in mobile. So you can remember these 3 names as SMS. Since this name Subasari is bigger than this Sankosh, so you can remember like that, the bigger name will be at before this smaller name. So Subasari, Manas and Sankos. And remember this Kameng is between Subasari and Manas rivers. So this is how the right bank tributaries of Brahmaputra used to go. Then we have few left bank tributaries. In the extreme left we will be, in the extreme right we will be having Budhi Dihang. Then we have Dhasari and then we have Kopila. These 3 are the main right bank, left bank tributaries of this Brahmaputra. Now, few other important points which you need to notice, that we have a river island named as Majuli Island in Assam, which is formed by this Brahmaputra river, and this is the longest, means it is the biggest river island in this world. So what is famous about this Majuli Island is, it is the biggest river island on this world, and where it is located in Assam, and it is located on the Brahmaputra river. Now this Brahmaputra river, when it moves into this Bangladesh region, this region is Bangladesh, okay, then when it moves into Bangladesh, the same Brahmaputra river is known as Jamuna. Means this river was known as Yarlung Tsangpo in Tibet. In India, it is known as Brahmaputra, and when it enters Bangladesh, it is known as Jamuna. Remember this, it is not Yamuna. Yamuna is spelled as Y-A-M-U-N-A, and here we have Jamuna, J-A-M-U-N-A. Then it moves as Jamuna into the Bangladesh region, and also we have from here we have river Ganga, which used to enter Bangladesh. When river Ganga used to enter Bangladesh, in Bangladesh it is known as Padma, river Ganga. So means when this Padma or the river Ganga in Bangladesh, when it joins this Jamuna or river Brahmaputra in Bangladesh, it is then together known as Meghna, and this Meghna then drains into the Bay of Bengal region, and where this Padma used to join Jamuna or Brahmaputra used to join Ganga, this region is the famous Sundarban region. You must have heard about Sundarban deltas. So this is where Sundarban delta is located. Means it is not only in this region, this complete region means parts of West Bengal and this Bangladesh region, this used to form the Sundarban delta, because both Brahmaputra and Ganga used to form the biggest delta on the earth, Ganga Brahmaputra delta, and this covered this region. And this Sundarban, you know, it is famous for its mangrove trees. And why it is named as Sundarban? Because of the tree named as Sundari tree. Based on that name, it is known as Sundarban delta. So remember these important facts. Also we have see the length of Brahmaputra. Total length of Brahmaputra is 2,900 km. Means total length means covering the length in Tibet, in India and in Bangladesh. But in India, the length of Brahmaputra is only 916 km. So if I ask you which is the longest river flowing in India, so that is not Brahmaputra. Remember that, because in India it is having a length of 916 km itself. In India it will be Ganga river, okay? Because Ganga has almost 2.5 times length of this river Brahmaputra flowing in India. Then we have seen that what do you mean by river basin or drainage basin. So for river Brahmaputra, the river basin covers of 5,80,000 square kilometer. Remember this 5,80,000 square kilometer. You don't need to remember this data, but you should know that if I talk about the river basin of Brahmaputra, so you should remember that it is now something about 6 lakh square kilometer. For example, if you write answers in mains, there you can quote the data. If not exact, then you can write as a nearly. Then another fact about river Brahmaputra is that it is a braided river. Braided river means it used to form islands while moving. It used to form several islands in between the rivers. So that is why it is known as braided river. Another very important fact about river Brahmaputra is that recently the Ganga Vilas cruise, which is the world's longest cruise, I hope you people know cruise means ship. The world longest cruise, Ganga Vilas cruise, which has started from Varanasi on river Ganga. It will end its journey at Dibrugarh in Assam on Brahmaputra river. This cruise will be covering places of national importance, cultural importance, and moving all along Patna, and also it will be moving in Bangladesh, and then from here it will be moving into Brahmaputra, this Brahmaputra river in Assam, Dibrugarh, and it will complete its journey. This cruise is having almost 51 days journey, which will be completed here in Dibrugarh, Assam, Brahmaputra. This journey has started recently on 13th January from Varanasi on river Ganga. So these were few important facts about river Brahmaputra. Also remember that the longest bridge in India, it is of river bridge, longest river bridge in India. The longest river bridge in India is on river Lohit. It is on river Lohit, and river Lohit is a tributary of river Brahmaputra. What is the name of that bridge? It is named as Bhupen Hazarika Bridge or Dhola Sadia Bridge. Now Dhola is a place in Arunachal Pradesh and Sadia is a place in Assam. This Dhola Sadia Bridge used to connect Assam from Arunachal Pradesh. This used to connect Assam from Arunachal Pradesh. Remember this Dola Sadia Bridge or Bhupen Hazarika Bridge having a length of 9.15 km. It is the longest river bridge in India and it is built over river Lohit. So these were some important facts about this Brahmaputra river system. I hope you people have noted it down. Mainly questions are asked on its tributaries, and these are a few important facts on which few questions can be framed. And also it has been asked, for example, about this bridge several times question has been asked about its name in name of this Brahmaputra in Tibet and its name in Bangladesh. Several times question has been asked about its length. Several questions have been asked about this Majuli River Island. Several times question have been framed and asked. Also, if you remember this diagram and these important facts, you can quote this in the mains examination if any question has been asked related to drainage system of India or drainage system of Brahmaputra River. So if you have noted down, then we will be moving to Ganga River system. Next we have Ganga River system. You can note down, this is the second river system, Ganga River system. You can make this diagram and note down whatever is written here. I will be explaining it to you. See, actually there is no river named as Ganga which has originated. There is a river named as Bhagirathi which used to originate from the Gomukh glacier in Uttarakhand. There is a river, this river originates, this is Bhagirathi. It used to originate from the Gomukh glacier in Uttarakhand state of India. And what happens, this Bhagirathi used to flow southeast, and what happens that here another river used to join this Bhagirathi, that is Alaknanda. And where it used to join it? In Uttarakhand itself at Devprayag. This place which is means the confluence of Bhagirathi and Alaknanda, where Bhagirathi and Alaknanda used to join, that place is known as Devprayag. It is in Uttarakhand, and from there the confluence of these two rivers, then it is named as Ganga. So the actual origin of Ganga, means the river named as Ganga, is from this Devprayag. Before that we have actually this Bhagirathi. It is an ancient name. There is a story behind this. I hope you people know that how river Ganga came on this earth. So the river here is Bhagirathi, which used to move from the Gomukh glacier, and when it is joined by Alaknanda, together they are known as Ganga. So before this Alaknanda joins this Bhagirathi, there are several other confluences of rivers in the Alaknanda river. Together these used to form Panch Prayag. Prayag means place where rivers used to join, or in other words, Prayag also actually means a place known for doing prayers and sacrifices and all things. So here what happens, you need to note down the name of these 5 Panch Prayags. Start writing from here. Vishnu Prayag. See, Vishnu Prayag is here at this place where Dhauli Ganga used to join this Alaknanda. This is Alaknanda, which has originated from here, means up from a glacier, and it is moving downwards. Now this Alaknanda has been joined by several rivers, and at each confluence we have a Prayag. So first one is Vishnu Prayag. This name was recently in news because Joshimath is situated near this Vishnu Prayag only, and this Vishnu Prayag is on the banks of river Dhauli Ganga, where Dhauli Ganga used to join this Alaknanda. We also have a Vishnu hydropower project here. Due to that project has been named responsible for whatever sinking of land is happening there in Joshimath. This Vishnu hydroelectric power project, which is built on this river Dhauli Ganga, has been is said to be one of the responsible means for that occurring or that disaster in Joshimath. So you can remember this. Vishnu Prayag is the first confluence, that is confluence of Dhauli Ganga and Alaknanda. Alaknanda will remain here, means one river will remain here until last. All the 5 Panch Prayags, Alaknanda will be remaining there, and other rivers used to be changing. So Dhauli Ganga, you can remember this Dhauli by named as Vishnu. We know that in Hindu mythology, means Ganga used to, it is said that it used to wash the legs of Vishnu. So you can remember by this name that Dhauli means Dhulna and Vishnu. So you can remember this Vishnu Prayag as Dhauli Ganga plus Alaknanda you need to keep in every Prayag. This Nand Prayag you can remember by Nandakini. These 2 words are same, Nand and Nandakini. Alaknanda will remain here itself. Then Karn Prayag, we have Pindar Ganga. Again Alaknanda will be remaining here. See, Karn Prayag, you can remember the word Pindar. See, for Pindadan we used to go to Gaya in Bihar, and Karna, the hero of Mahabharata, he was also from Bihar, a place named as Bhagalpur in Bihar. So that was Anga Pradesh at that time. So with that you can remember this, means I have remembered these with such kind of logics. Means Karna known for Bihar, Bhagalpur, and for Pindadan we used to go to where? In Gaya and Bihar. So Karna Prayag, Pindar Ganga and Alaknanda, I have already told you, it will remain till last. Then last is Rudra Prayag, Mandakini plus Alaknanda. Alaknanda remaining same. Mandakini you can means I have remembered that Rudra means in our Hindu mythology Lord Shiva, and the wife of Ravana was Mandodari, and she was a devotee of Lord Lord Shiva or Rudra. So by that I have remembered it. This Mandakini plus Alaknanda is Rudra Prayag. And finally Dev Prayag is the final confluence of Alaknanda and Bhagirathi. Means from here the river is known as Ganga. So of course this you will be remembering. So you need to, actually questions in the prelims are asked that river Alaknanda used to join Pindar at which Prayag or which Panch Prayag. Then you will be named as Rudra, Karna, Nanda or Vishnu Prayag. Then you have to choose that it is Karna Prayag. So, or you may be asked that Dhauli Ganga used to join Alaknanda at which Prayag. Then you have to remember it is Vishnu Prayag. So these are the Panch Prayags which you need to remember. These are in Uttarakhand. And the what happens now after, means this all these rivers combine and it becomes Ganga. Then it flows southeast. Now this Ganga will be having its left bank tributary and right bank tributaries. See, if we talk about left bank, I told you that you need to stand towards the mouth of the river. So where is the mouth of the river? It is here. Means Ganga is going to drain here in this Bay of Bengal region. So when we will stand like this, our left hand will be pointing towards left bank tributaries. So all these which are coming are left bank tributaries of Ganga, while our right hand will be pointing towards right hand tributaries of Ganga. So as far as the right hand tributaries are concerned, we have generally don't have much right hand tributaries. Only Yamuna and Son are the famous right hand tributaries of Ganga. There are other rivers, but they are not direct tributaries of Ganga. They are tributaries of either Yamuna or Son river. Means once they confluence into Yamuna or Son, then these Yamuna and Son go to and join the Ganga river. So for right bank tributaries, you need to remember Yamuna and Son. For left bank, we have several tributaries. Now you need to remember this. Several times you are asked, and then you are asked to arrange this in order. Means either from east to west or from west to east. So remember, first will be Ram Ganga. This is Ram Ganga, which is the left bank tributary of this main Ganga. Then we have Gomti. Next we have Saryu, or this Saryu is also known as Ghagra. Actually what happens, a river named as Sharda used to originate from the Pithoragarh district of Uttarakhand, and this Sharda is then later joined by a river named as Karnali, which used to originate from the Tibet region, and Karnali used to move from Nepal, and it then used to join this Sharda river. So the confluence of Karnali and Sharda river together is known as Ghagra or Saryu river. In UP we call the same river as Saryu, while the same river when it moves to Bihar, that is known as Ghagra. So remember this. Next, what happens? This Rapti used to join this Saryu river or this Ghagra, and then this Ghagra used to join this Ganga here near in Bihar near Patna region. Then we have Gandak, means moving on towards east. Then we have this Bagmati, Kamla Balan and Kosi. These three rivers, they used to join together and they used to meet Ganga here at Bhagalpur. Bhagalpur is again in Bihar. Bhagalpur. Then we have Mahananda. It is the another tributary of river Ganga. It used to join here, means ahead of Bhagalpur. And then after that what happens, this river Ganga splits into two. One branch moves towards Calcutta, that is known as Hooghly river. Means Hooghly is nothing but a branch of river Ganga. And another branch of this Ganga used to move in Bangladesh, where it is known as Padma. We have already seen this. Means, so remember this Hooghly and Padma, they are nothing but two branches of Ganga. While the one branch, while moving towards Calcutta, it is known as Hooghly river, while another one moving in the Bangladesh, it is known as Padma river. So I hope you will be remembering this. If I ask you to arrange these tributaries from west to east, then you can write it as Ram Ganga. Then we have Gomti. Then we have Saryu or Ghagra. Then we have Gandak. Then we have Kosi, and then we have Mahananda. So I hope, and in the right bank tributaries, this one is left bank tributaries, LBT, left bank tributaries, and in right bank tributaries you can mainly write about Son and Yamuna. So remember this. Few other facts about Ganga is the total length of Ganga is 2525 kilometers. So and then one question is asked that the maximum length of, means what, name the states where Ganga used to flow, or the states covered by the Ganga river. Then you need to remember 5 states. These are Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. Next you are asked that the maximum length of Ganga is in which state? Then of course it is in Uttar Pradesh, because it used to cover from the extreme north towards southeast Uttar Pradesh, this river Ganga. So if I ask you to arrange in the order, the maximum length of Ganga is in Uttar Pradesh. At second we have West Bengal, then we have Bihar, then we have Uttarakhand, and the smallest length covered by Ganga is in Jharkhand. So remember the extreme ends, means maximum is in Uttar Pradesh and minimum is in Jharkhand. And if you are asked to arrange, then remember this West Bengal comes before Bihar, and then Bihar will be ahead of Uttarakhand. So these are important facts about Ganga river system. Generally, it will be, I think, if you are asked to identify the tributaries of Ganga, it won't be much mainly difficult for you, because you know that there are very less right bank tributaries, so maximum are left bank tributaries, and these are very famous names. For example, Ram Ganga, the name Ganga itself is there in, so you can identify with this. Also, Ram means we know that there is a place named as Ayodhya or Faizabad here in the Uttar Pradesh state. So with that you can remember this name Ram Ganga. Gomti, this is means capital of Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, that is on the banks of the Gomti. So you can remember this also. Saryu, again Ayodhya. Gandak, it used to run from the north of Bihar and it enters here in joins here. Then Kosi, this river is very much famous for causing floods in Bihar, and it also known to join here. And then Mahananda. So I hope that you have made this diagram and you remember these 5 Panch Prayags and important facts about river Ganga. Next we will be moving to Indus water system. See, we won't be studying Indus water system in details. Why? Because the drainage basin also because the drainage basin of Indus river system is maximum in Pakistan itself. See, if I talk about the drainage basin of river Ganga, note down this fact also. This is almost 8,60,000 kilometer square. Remember this? The drainage basin of river Ganga is 8,60,000 kilometer square. And also remember that this is the largest river basin in India. If you are asked that which is the largest river basin in India, and you are given 4 options: Indus, Brahmaputra, Ganga, Godavari, then remember that it is Ganga river basin covering the maximum area or the largest river basin. Which is the largest river basin in the world? That is Amazon river basin. And where is Amazon river? It flows in South America, all the way from Brazil, means flowing westward from Brazil to other South American countries. So largest, if I talk about largest river basin in the world, largest river basin in world, and that is Amazon river basin in South America. Note down these important facts, make this diagram, and then we will be moving to Indus river system. I've already told you that only 30% drainage basin of Indus is covered in India. Rest is in Pakistan region. We will only see few important tributaries of river Indus, and then we won't be studying. These are all about Himalayan river system. See, the drainage system of India has been divided into 2: Himalayan river system and peninsular river system. So once we see about the Indus river system, in case of peninsular river system, we won't be drawing diagrams like this, because it is generally not asked in any exams. Generally, in case of peninsular river system, you are mainly asked about tributaries of those rivers. You need to identify them. So I will be writing the tributaries of important rivers of the peninsular India, and you need to note down that and remember those, because questions are generally asked in objective type about tributaries. Next, we will be studying mainly about the difference between the peninsular river system or peninsular drainage system and Himalayan river system. So note down this. Next, we will be moving to Indus river system. You can write here Indus river system. This is the third river under Himalayan river system. So we see that Indus River, it rises, means its origin is in near Mansarovar Lake in the Tibet region. So this is its origin, and where it originates? It originates near Lake Mansarovar in the Tibet region. Then it used to move all along in this direction. It moves northwest, and then here it used to make a god and then turn south in the southern direction, and it used to meet the Arabian Sea near Karachi in Pakistan. So remember this, origin is in near Lake Mansarovar in Tibet region, then it moves northwest, and then it turns southwards, and then it drains into Arabian Sea, and where it drains in Karachi city of Pakistan, near Karachi city of Pakistan. So in between this flow, the actual length of this river Indus is 3200 kilometers, mean originating from here and then traveling from Tibet into India and then into Pakistan. The total length is 3200 kilometers. In India it covers 800 kilometers. Do you remember the length of Indus in India? It is 800 kilometers. We are considering the length of Indus in the POK region also to be in the India region. Now this river Indus in between is joined by several tributaries. So we will see the name of those tributaries. See, when river while moving like this, the first tributary is this Janskar river, which used to join it from the left bank. Then we have Ashok river, which used to join from the right bank, and we have Nubra river, which is not direct tributary of this Indus river, but Nubra is a tributary of Shok river. Nubra used to join Shok, and then Shok used to join this Indus river. Then we have this Giljit river and Hunza river. Hunza river used to join Giljit river before Giljit river used to join this Indus river, and this used to join mainly in the POK region. This is mainly in the POK region. Then we have Shigar river. It joined near Iskardu valley. This is again in the POK region. Then this river turns southward and moves like this. The main thing we have to remember is the name of these tributaries. Here in this case, the main tributaries are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Byas and Satluj. So you need to remember the origin of these rivers, means where they originate and how they move. See, river Satluj, it also used to originate near Lake Mansarovar, a place named as Rakshastal. It is also in Tibet region. So this is the flow of Satluj. This is the flow of Satluj. Satluj also used to originate like this. Okay. And then we have river Byas, means which used to run north of Satluj. Okay. Then this, where is the origin of this river Byas? It is at the Rohtang Pass. Rohtang Pass is in Himachal Pradesh. Means this rivers Byas and this river Ravi both used to originate in Himachal Pradesh. River Ravi used to originate in the north of the means Rohtang Pass, while river Byas used to originate in the south of the Rohtang Pass. So river Byas used to move like this, and it used to meet Satluj at where? At a place known as Harikke. It is in Punjab. You need to remember this. Questions are directly framed that river Byas used to join river Satluj at which place. So you need to remember it is a Harikke barrage, or Harikke. Also we have a wetland with this name, Harikke wetland, which is in Punjab. So remember this. Along with this, I have written ancient name of these rivers, because questions are framed on this topic also, that you need to name the ancient name of, what is the ancient name of Satluj. So you need to remember it is Shutudri. For Byas it is Bipasa. For Ravi it is Purushni. For Chenab Ashkani, and Jhelum Vitasta. Remember this ancient name. Then we will be moving to river Chenab. Where it originates? It originates in the Baralacha Pass in Himachal Pradesh. This is the origin for Chenab. It used to move like this, originating at Baralacha Pass. Then we have Jhelum. Where the Jhelum originates? Jhelum originates at Verinag spring in Jammu and Kashmir. See, though I have, it is just a rough sketch in order to show you that how this goes. This how means the run of the rivers is like this. This river Jhelum actually used to originate somewhere here at the this Verinag spring, and this is in the Jammu and Kashmir region, and it used to move like this. So you need to remember the places where they used to meet. Means order is Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Byas and Satluj. This is the order from top to bottom. You may be given these 5 names, and then you may be asked to arrange them from north to south, or from south to north. Then remember the extreme ones. Jhelum is at the top and Satluj is at the JS. Jhelum and Satluj. Satluj is at the bottom. Then first we have the meeting of this Satluj and Byas river, where they used to meet at Harike barrage. Then this Byas and Satluj, after meeting, it used to move like this. And see here Jhelum, it used to move like this, and then Chenab. Jhelum and Chenab used to meet at a point known as Trimu. Trimu, where is this point? This is in the Punjab region of Pakistan. Trimu. Then these two together move further, and then river Ravi used to meet these two, the confluence of these two, and where these two means where this Ravi river used to meet the combination of these two at Ahmadpur Sial. This is also in the Punjab region of Pakistan. Means except this Byas, means other two are meeting in the Punjab region of Pakistan area. Then the confluence of these three together, further moving south, then these used to meet the river Satluj, and the point where these all 5 rivers combined, this is known as Panchnath. Remember this, because 5 famous rivers used to join. This point is the known as the confluence of these 5 rivers: Satluj, Byas, Ravi, Chenab and Jhelum. So you are seeing that how these rivers are going on. First is the meeting of this Jhelum and Chenab at Trimu. Then these two together combine and move further southward, where at Ahmadpur Sial means river Ravi used to meet them, and then further these 3 combine and move further south, where river Satluj used to meet them. River Byas used to meet Satluj in India itself at Harike barrage in Punjab. Then these 5 together combine and move further south, and these meet this river Indus which is flowing means north of these rivers and flowing southwards here in Pakistan region. Then the confluence of these 5 or the Panchnath used to move like this and meet river Indus at Mithankot. You need to remember this place, Mithankot, where the Panchnath used to meet river Indus. And then these together means after meeting here, then this used to move like this and used to drain the water in the Arabian Sea near Karachi in Pakistan. See, due to these 5 Himalayan rivers, these are very rich in minerals, and due to this Punjab region of not only India as well as this Pakistan region, due to the drainage basin of this river Indus, this region is highly fertile, and it is known for its agricultural activity, and that is why among the 4 provinces of Pakistan, this region, the people living in this Punjab region, they are highly rich. Why? Because agricultural activity is very high, and cropping intensity in this Punjab region is also very high. Even in the Punjab region, what we have in India, In that region also the cropping intensity is near about 190 to 200. Similarly the condition in the Punjab region of Pakistan. Whereas in other regions of India, if you will see, the cropping intensity is near about 100 or 120, while in Punjab it is near about 200. Why? Because of these five Himalayan rivers, which are very rich in minerals, and they are perennial, means they have water throughout the year. So remember this, and remember these origin points. Except Satluj and Indus, means both Satluj and Indus used to originate from this near Mansarovar Lake in Tibet. Jhelum used to originate in Jammu Kashmir. The other three, means Byas, Ravi and Chenab, used to originate in Himachal Pradesh. Remember this, these rivers originating in Himachal Pradesh and Tibet region and in Jammu and Kashmir region, they used to flow westward, or in other terms south-westwards. This is the direction. While the rivers originating in Uttarakhand, they used to flow, means directly southward rather than westwards. So none of these rivers are originating from Uttarakhand region. Three are originating from Himachal Pradesh, while one is from Jammu Kashmir and another from Tibet region. Remember about Indus River basin, it is almost of 11 lakh square kilometer, out of which only 30% is in India, while 70% of the Indus River basin is covered in Pakistan region. So I hope that you have noted down all these important facts. Also remember this glacier of river Indus, that is Bokarchu glacier, from where the river Indus used to originate in the near Lake Mansarovar. Bokarchu glacier. So I hope you people have noted it down. This is the third river of the Himalayan river system. Now we will be moving to peninsular rivers, and we will see in peninsular rivers mainly we will see about their tributaries. We will not be drawing diagrams like this. We will mainly see their origin of those rivers, and where is the mouth of those rivers, and important tributaries of those rivers. We won't be seeing the right bank or left bank tributaries, because hardly questions have been framed based on their direction and all. Generally questions are framed on that you need to name or identify the tributaries of those rivers. So note down this before we move to next topic. So dear friends, note down these few famous rivers of India and their tributaries. You need not to know all the rivers of India and their tributaries, because most of them are very small. They are like streams and they don't have tributaries. And even if though few of them have tributaries, they are not that much important for the examination purpose. So I have written here very important rivers, means most of the time questions have been asked in the examination from this river itself. So note down this, and if possible, it means if you want, you can make mnemonics means wherever you can. Generally I don't used to make mnemonics, only if at few places if possible, then I try to, otherwise I try to learn them by few tricks. If I'll be telling you for Indus, you need to remember that these the order of these tributaries. First is Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Byas and Satluj from north to south, and then try to remember these tributaries: Shigar, Hunza, Gilgit. See, all these three are in the POK region. Then we have Nubra, Shok and Jaskar. Then for Ganga, we have also, you did not need to remember the left and right bank tributaries for all the mentioned river. Only in few cases you are asked, means especially in case of Ganga and Brahmaputra, generally you are asked with whether they are of right bank or left bank. Otherwise for others they will simply ask you to identify that which river is not a tributary of this particular main river. For Ganga, Ram Ganga, Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak, Koshi, and Mahananda. Mahananda is the extreme, means left tributary of Ganga. Then for right bank, it is Yamuna, Son, and Damodar. Right bank, you can only three rivers are there. You can remember it as Yashoda. Means I used to remember it like Yashoda, YSD, Yamuna, Son, and Damodar. Then for Yamuna, we don't have left bank, mainly all are right bank itself. So Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Dhasan, and Kane. You can remember it like that. CS branch, CS Chambal, Sindh, and branch Betwa, Dhasukam, means Dhasan and Kane. If you want, you can make such mnemonics and then you can learn this. Then for Brahmaputra, we have, you remember these two, I told you, means earlier also, Tista and Lohit as extreme right and extreme left. Then we have SMS, Sankos, Manas, and Subansiri. In between we have Kaming. Then we have Dihang and Dibang. B used to come before H, so while moving from right, Dibang will be coming first, then Dihang. And remember this such kind of name, Kaming, and then we have Kaleng. These are northeast names, so this will be means mainly tributaries of northeast river, that is Brahmaputra. And its left bank tributaries we have mainly three: Dhansari, Budhi Diang, and again Kelang. For Mahanadi, remember this: Sevnath, Hasdev, Mand, and IB. You can remember like SHM. I used to remember it like SHM, simple harmonic motion, what we know it. Sevnath, Hasdev, Mand, and IB. And for right bank, it is only JT, means Jongkand, Tel. See, generally river Narmada used to flow in Rift Valley. So this is also a main river of India, but it don't have too many tributaries. Whatever these are written also, these are very small streams. So you can note down Hiran, Barna, Kolar, and Osrang are the tributaries for Narmada. Remember the tributary for these three. Means generally in the examination, either they means questions are asked based on these three, because you need to know few tips to remember these, because this may be confusing. For Godavari, remember this: Indravati, Pranhita, Purna, Pravasa, and Manjara. You can remember it like this: I am P cube. I am P cube, where I stand for Indravati and other M stand for Manjara, and P cube stand for Pranhita, Purna, and Pravasa. For Godavari, you can remember like this: for Tunga, for this Krishna, Tungabhadra, Bhima, Koyna, Varna, Panchganga, Ghat Prabha, Mal Prabha, Dudh Ganga, and Musi. See where this term Prabha will come. Remember this: Prabha is the key term for Krishna river. Okay. So others you can remember like this: TB, Tungabhadra, and Bhima. Then with this key term Prabha, Ghat Prabha, Mal Prabha, and Dudh Ganga is a special name. You need to remember this. This is this tributary has been asked several times. Dudh Ganga, by the name itself, it used to means come as important. It is a tributary of Krishna. Then we have Musi. For Kaveri, you need to remember these terms: Vati. See, Hemvati, Akravati. Then here we have Suvarnavati. Then we have Amravati. Means the term Vati, wherever it will come in the names, remember that they are tributaries of Kaveri, except this Indravati. You need to remember that Indravati is the tributary of Godavari. Otherwise, whatever means the terms will come with the term Vati, they will be tributary of Kaveri. Then we have Hirangi, Kavani, Lakshman Tirtha, Shimsha, and Bhavani. Ani also you can remember this: Kavani and Bhavani, these are all the tributaries of Kaveri river. So remember these few tips. Means ati means this term Vyavati wherever it will come means Hemavati, Akravati, Amravati, then Suvarnavati. All these are tributaries of Kaveri. Where this term Prabha will be coming, Mal Prabha, Ghat Prabha, they will be tributaries of Krishna. And where remember this IMPQ for Godavari, Indravati, Manjra, and then Pranhita, Purna and Pravasa for Godavari. So these are few important rivers and their tributaries. I hope you people have noted it down. Remember one fact about river Mahi. This also has been asked in the exam several times. That river Mahi is the river which used to cut the Tropic of Cancer twice. Means the Tropic of Cancer is like this, which used to run in means divide at 23.5 degree north latitude. Means river Mahi used to flow like this, and it used to cross this Tropic of Cancer twice. Means one here in Madhya Pradesh and another here. So if you are asked that which river crosses the Tropic of Cancer twice, you need to remember that it is river Mahi. So if you have noted down this, now we will be moving to the very important topic of this very important heading under this topic, drainage system. That is the difference between the Himalayan and the peninsular river system. The difference between Himalayan and peninsular river system has been asked several times in the mains examination or subjective examination, in whether in 10 marks or 15 marks or 20 marks question. So you need to remember all those 8 to 10 difference between them. So whenever it is asked in the examination, you can write it down. So we will start with the difference between the two. So dear friends, now we will be seeing the difference between the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. So first difference is that these rivers used to originate from glaciers, so or Himalayan glaciers. So you can write down rivers originate from Himalayan glaciers. While the peninsular river, these used to originate from the plateau region, either from the central highland or the Deccan Plateau. We have already seen that peninsular plateau is divided into two parts, central highlands and Deccan Plateau. So you can write here that these peninsular rivers used to originate from central highlands or Deccan Plateau. So this is the first difference between the two. Next, you can write down, you can give few examples of rivers originating from Himalayas, and then few examples for river originating from peninsula. For example, Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra are examples. Then here you can write Godavari, Narmada, Krishna, Kaveri are examples. So this is the second difference between the two. Third difference you can write down is that these Himalayan rivers are perennial in nature, while these are non-perennial in nature. Now, by this term perennial, what do we mean? Perennial means those rivers which have water throughout the year. So why these are perennial? Because these used to originate from the glacier. So since their source is glacier, so glacier will means continue melting, and water will be here in these Himalayan rivers throughout the year. While the source for this river is a plateaus. So water means a good amount of water is not present in these peninsular rivers throughout the year. Only during the rainfall season, means monsoonal season, we see good amount of rainfall in these peninsular rivers. While these Himalayan rivers during the monsoon or the rainfall season, these used to witness flood. Otherwise, even in the non-monsoonal season, good amount of water is available in these Himalayan rivers because they originate from the glaciers. Fourth point between this, the difference between these two is that their drainage basin is large. Drainage basin is smaller compared to Himalayan rivers. Why it is so? You already know the meaning of drainage basin. Why it is so that the Himalayan rivers have large drainage basin? Why? Because these rivers used to travel, means Himalayan rivers used to travel for longer distance plus more number of tributaries. These Himalayan rivers have more number of tributaries with both left bank, right bank. We have seen in case of Brahmaputra, in case of Ganga, in case of Indus, that there are so many tributaries, and also these rivers used to travel for longer distance. That is why their drainage basin is large. While in case of these peninsular river, they used to travel for short distance and less number of tributaries. That is why short distance and less number of tributaries used to make drainage basin smaller in comparison to the drainage basin of Himalayan rivers. So remember this is the fourth difference between the two. Fifth difference is these rivers, Himalayan rivers, generally show antecedent and dendritic drainage pattern. While these peninsular rivers used to show radial, superimposed and trellis pattern. You note down this point. I will explain this point within few minutes when we will study the next topic, drainage pattern. So note down that for the time being you need to just note down that these Himalayan river used to show drainage and dendritic drainage pattern, while these radial, superimposed and trellis pattern are shown by peninsular rivers. Actually, I have already told you that the rivers means the shape made by the river system, that is called as drainage pattern. So there are several drainage patterns. So these are means antecedent and dendritic are type of drainage pattern which are shown by Himalayan rivers, while these are radial, superimposed, trellis are the patterns shown by the peninsular rivers. There are many other patterns also. When we will study about drainage pattern, we will be seeing there. For the time being, you can note down this. Sixth difference between the two is that these Himalayan rivers, most of these are still in their youthful stage, while in case of peninsular river you can write down most of these are in mature and old stage. So write down this is the sixth difference between the two. I will explain the meaning of this youthful stage and mature and old stage. See, Himalayan rivers are still, most of them are in the youthful stage, while peninsular rivers are there in mature and old stage. See, a river has three stages. We have youth, mature and old stage. These are three stages of a river. While Himalayan rivers are mostly in the youth stage, these peninsular rivers are in these two stages, mature and old. See, in youth stage, what will happen? River will be having high gradient. It will have large amount of sediments and huge capacity to erode. In the youth stage, capacity to erode is high, while in mature and old stage, capacity to erode is less, while to deposit is high. Means to deposit the sediments, the capacity is high of mature and old stage, and the capacity to erode a surface is low in case of mature and old stage of river. While in case of youth stage, the capacity to erode a surface means causing degradation or removing the surface particles. It is more in the youth stage of a river. Youth means the starting stage. Mature means a stage coming next to youth, and then old stage means when the river has reached its baseline and now it has no more capacity to erode a particular surface. So remember this. So I hope you people have noted down these 6 points. Now I will be rubbing them and writing few more points here. After these 6, we will be seeing few other points of difference between Himalayan and peninsular rivers. Next, seventh difference is that we have already seen that these Himalayan rivers are still in the youthful stage. So what will they do? They will mean these Himalayan rivers will cause is vertical erosion on the surface. So if when these Himalayan rivers since they are flowing at a high gradient and they are having huge sediments in it, so these will be eroding the surface, this river bed or this surface from where the rivers are flowing vertically in such a manner that these will form these V-shaped valleys. Means this kind of shape will be formed of this river bed, and river will be moving like this. So remember this, that these Himalayan rivers used to form V-shaped valleys. Okay, while this peninsular river, now I have already told you that these peninsular rivers are flowing where? Over plateaus. These plateaus are hard surfaces. So these peninsular rivers are already in their mature stage or old stage, so they are unable to cause vertical erosions. Why they are unable to cause vertical erosion? Because they have already caused it to their base level. These rivers have already reached their base level. Base level here means the maximum level to which a river can cause vertical erosion. So these peninsular river have already reached much before time ahead, means their base level, and now these rivers are not causing much means vertical erosion because they are flowing over peninsular plateau, which is a hard surface or hard rock. So remember this, that while these form V-shaped valleys, these used to move in shallow valleys. Next, 8th point is Himalayan rivers used to form meanders, while these peninsular rivers, these generally used to move straight, move straight, form Meanders. See, what do you mean by meanders? Meanders actually means zigzag path. Means the rivers don't used to flow in a straight manner. This manner, these used to form so many curves and turns. So this meander is nothing but curves and turns. Why these Himalayan rivers are forming meanders or curves and turns? Because these are flowing over soft soil, or you know that we have alluvial soil, alluvial soil, which is very porous, which is very porous and easily erodible. Easily erodible. So what happens that these Himalayan rivers easily used to, sometimes they used to cut or erode this portion, and if in this portion they will find hard rock, then these rivers will be unable to erode this portion, then they will be moving like this. Means based on the availability of soft soil and hard soil, alternatively soft soil, hard soil, something like this, these rivers used to move in this zigzag manner, and these used to form meanders. While since these used to move in the peninsular plateau, which is a hard surface, these river used to move in straight line or almost straight manner. So remember this 8th point. I hope you people have understood this. Next point of difference is that these Himalayan rivers, they mainly form deltas at mouth. We have already discussed what do we mean by delta, so I am not telling it here again. These Himalayan rivers used to form deltas at the mouth, while these peninsular rivers, they used to form both deltas or estuaries depending on their drainage in Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. What does it mean here? For see, these peninsular rivers, when they drain into Bay of Bengal region, these used to form delta, while the same peninsular rivers, when they used to drain in the Arabian Sea, these used to form estuaries. Why it is so? I have already explained you that for formation of delta, 3 conditions are needed. Means the river should flow for longer distance, high gradient, and large number of sediment deposits should be present in rivers. These 3 conditions are required for formation of deltas. So those rivers originating in the peninsular plateau and flowing in the Bay of Bengal region, they meet these 3 conditions. Why? Because they travel for longer distance, they flow at higher gradient. Why? Because we know that Western Ghats are at higher elevation compared to Eastern Ghats, and rivers originating from Western Ghats, they used to originate at higher gradient or move at higher gradient. Next, since they are moving from higher mountains, they have large amount of sediment deposit with them. So when these rivers are moving in the Bay of Bengal region, they used to form deltas at the mouth, while means few other rivers which used to originate in means Western Ghats and used to move in Arabian Sea, they don't meet these 3 conditions. So that is why they used to form estuaries. For difference between delta and estuary, I think I have explained in this video itself. If not in this video, then in previous videos you can see that these deltas are nothing but these triangular shape, a depositional structure or depositional landform. These are deltas. Estuaries are also depositional landforms or depositional structure which are formed by rivers at the mouth. Mouth means where these rivers used to join the sea or the ocean. So this is the 9th difference between these 2 river system. 10th you can write down is that these Himalayan rivers, these are good for navigation. Good for navigation means you can see that we have several waterways. For example, National Waterway 1 from Allahabad to Haldia. That is in this Himalayan river system, means it used to cover the Gangas and that portion of the means northern portion of the Himalayan rivers. While in the peninsular rivers, these are not good for navigation. Why it is so that these rivers are not good for navigation while these are good? Because this question has also been asked several times, that why peninsular rivers are not good for navigation. See, what happened that these rivers, these peninsular rivers, since these are flowing over plateaus, so these have too many ups and downs. Ups and downs means there are since these rivers are means older in compared to these Himalayan rivers, there are so many ups and downs here, and there are so many waterfalls here in the peninsular region. So due to large number of waterfalls and irregular surface, we know that for navigation we require smooth surface. Irregular surfaces and large number of hindrances in the form of waterfall will not promote the navigation. While here in case of Himalayan rivers, these rivers, the surface here is not irregular in comparison to here in the peninsular rivers. Also we have very less number of waterfalls in this portion. Plus the water is available here throughout the year. Water availability, you can write here, water availability throughout the year. This used to promote navigation or the movement of the ships or boats in this region. While we know that these peninsular rivers don't have water throughout the year, plus irregular surface, plus large number of waterfalls present here, plus large number of dams which have been built here. So these four reasons are there for this peninsular rivers not good for irrigation. Remember this. While the same is not the case in case of Himalayan rivers, these rivers used to promote navigation, or these are good for navigation. You can write these four, means irregular surface, waterfalls, large number of dams, and water availability only in seasons. Water availability only in seasons. You can write this. While water availability throughout the year, regular surface. Okay, you can write these points. I hope you people have noted down these 10 points. These 10 points would be enough. If you are asked in 10 marks or 15 points, you can write this. Also, you can make the diagrams showing a few Himalayan rivers or Himalayan river system and few peninsular river system. Now we'll be moving to last means heading under this main topic, drainage system, that is drainage pattern followed or made by the rivers or the drainage patterns in India. Now we will move to drainage pattern. So we have already seen that what do we mean by drainage pattern, how we define drainage pattern. It is nothing but the shape formed by drainage system. The shape formed by the drainage system is known as drainage pattern. You can note down this. Then this drainage pattern is divided into two types, discordant and concordant. Then this discordant is further divided into two types, antecedent and superimposed, and this concordant is divided into several types, consequent, radial, subsequent, annular, dendritic, trellis, parallel, rectangular, centripetal, barbed. These are different types of concordant drainage patterns. You did not need to remember these patterns, but yes, few important ones on the basis of which questions are framed in prelims examination. And for the mains examination, you mainly need to remember this flow chart, and you did not need to explain each and every. Only few you can explain, but I will be in short telling you about each and every drainage pattern present here. So first, what do you mean by discordant and concordant? Means the two major division of this drainage pattern. See, discordant. Here, this term discordant, it means not in accordance to underlying topography. Not in accordance to underlying topography, while concordant, it means in accordance to underlying topography. Note down these two meanings of these two. I am explaining it to you that what these two actually mean. See, what happens generally when a river moves like this, it used to move over a surface. So what happens that this surface means whatever it is present in its present form, it will not remain like this only. Why? Because we know that continuously tectonic activities are going on within the earth crust. So what will it happen? Means what will it be doing is that due to tectonic activities, this surface may rise. It may become like this. This surface may become like this. So the term discordant means that this river, which was earlier flowing like this, means earlier when the surface was like this river was flowing like this. So now due to upliftment of this surface, the river should divert into different stream, or it should change its path. As per general rule, if the surface gets uplifted, then the river should change its path. But as per discordant, what does it mean? It means that the river will not change its original path, and it will continue to move in the same manner. For example, if the earlier when the surface was like this and river was moving like this, when if the surface got uplifted, river will be moving like this in this straight manner. And how it will be moving like this? It will be eroding this uplifted surface. The river will be eroding this uplifted surface and will continue to follow its original path. So remember this. While in case of this concordant, what will happen? This uplifted surface, due to compressional force or compressional means whatever structure has been formed due to compressional force, the river which was earlier flowing in a straight manner, this will now change its direction, and then due to change in direction, it will lead to formation of this different shape. Because earlier if the river was flowing like this, what was the shape? The shape was simple. But now if the river is changing its direction due to upliftment of the surface, the shape could be like this. The shape could be like this. So there can be different shapes of the river, or we can say the different shapes mean different drainage patterns. So these are what we have written here: consequent, radial, subsequent, and we have written it under concordant. Why? Because these are those which are changing the original path of the rivers as per the due to upliftment of the land. So in case of discordant, you can write that river continues to follow its original path irrespective of compressional upliftment of the land. Upliftment of land. While in case of concordant, you can write river changes its path based on change in underlying topography. So note down these two, means the meaning and definition of these two. I hope you people have understood this. Now we will be trying to see all these different kind of drainage patterns. In short, we will see that what this mean and a few examples of these drainage patterns. Generally, questions are asked from this heading in your mains examination or in the subjective examination, that you are asked about to explain about different kind of drainage patterns. In prelims, mainly questions are asked in this manner, that you need to identify which river has which of the following rivers. You will be given 4 options and you will be asked that which of these river have superimposed pattern, or you will be asked that which of these river have an antecedent drainage patterns. Mainly questions are in prelims or in objective types are asked based on these two, means discordant drainage pattern. Also sometimes it is means these are also asked based on this dendritic, this radial, and also sometimes based on this annular. Means in prelims examination, generally radial, dendritic and annular questions have been framed on these few drainage patterns or types. So note down this before we move to these subheadings. Now I will start with this discordant drainage pattern. Discordant drainage pattern, and then we will see first one is antecedent pattern. So what does this mean, antecedent? It means as it was before. The meaning of this word antecedent is as it was before or no change. So it means that the underlying topography of the underlying topography of a river, if a river is flowing like this, in this manner, this is the path of the river, then the underlying topography of the river, means this structure or this surface, this hardly determines the direction of the flow of the river. Means this underlying topography, even if it changes, the direction of this flow of river does not change. Why it does not change? Because due to tectonic activities, if there is means crustal compression means due to tectonic activities, if this crust is compressed, then this crust will be uplifted. Rather than like this will be something like this. But this upliftment of the crust will not change the direction of this river. Means crustal compression and upliftment of crust will not change the direction of river. Will not change the direction of river. Why it will not change? Because what will happen, means these antecedent rivers, they have very high erosive power. Remember this, these antecedent rivers, these have very high erosive powers. So what this river will be doing, that its rate of erosion will be equal to rate of compression or the rate of crustal compression. So what will this river do? This river will erode this surface and will continue to follow its original course. So what will happen? River will follow its original course irrespective of upliftment. Irrespective of upliftment. You can write down this. Why? Because rate of erosion will be equal to rate of upliftment. Means the rate at which this rock will be getting uplifted due to compressional force, the river will erode this upliftment at the same rate, and due to this it will continue to follow the same path, means or its original course irrespective of this upliftment. So this is the meaning of antecedent as it was before, or no change. So you can write few examples of antecedent rivers. Examples are, means all those trans-Himalayan rivers. If you know that trans-Himalayan rivers, they have cut the Himalayas, and you know how Himalayas were formed. Slow upliftment. Himalayas are nothing but the slow upliftment of the sediments into a fold mountain. So and that means these rivers means Indus, Satluj, Brahmaputra. These rivers were flowing before even the upliftment, before even the formation of these Himalayan ranges. So these rivers were, while they were continuing moving in their direction which they are currently moving. So even if that upliftment was going on, means the sediments were getting converted into fold mountains slowly. So what happened? These rivers eroded the those upliftment or those mountains, and they continue to follow their original course as they used to had it even before the upliftment of the mountain. So note down these examples. Note down this. If you have noted down this, now we will be moving to superimposed. Next is superimposed. Superimposed pattern. This is also under this quadrant. Superimposed pattern means placed over, with something which is placed over another thing. See what happens. These also means, since this is also part of this quadrant, so the rivers follow their original course. But what happens that in case of this antecedent, these antecedent rivers, means these are generally in the plains area. Means we have seen that most of them used to flow in the plains area, means Indus, Brahmaputra, and means Satluj. So they continue eroding. The erosion here in this means in case of antecedent river is continuous. Why? Because of the plain areas, and they used to form these V-shaped valleys. Why? Because they are still in their young stage, and means the underlying topography, that is continuously changing. Why? Because it is continuously eroding, and still this has not reached its base level. So this is why means this antecedent river, they still continue to erode vertically, and they still continue to follow their same direction. But what happens here in case of superimposed, these are generally found over plateaus. Remember this. These superimposed rivers are found over, they generally move over plateaus, while these move over plains. So what happens in case of plateaus? The top surface is soft. So river easily erode this and continue to follow its original course. River easily erode this soft rock and continue to follow its original course. But what happens after this small layer of soft rock, we have hard rock or hard surface in case of plateaus. So what happens, that river is unable to erode this hard surface, and it still continues to follow its own path. So what happens, we see that this means the rivers flowing in this superimposed drainage pattern, they are not in accordance with the surface below. Means uh, uh, this hard rock actually should determine means it should change the direction of this means original course of the river. But since this river has already eroded this soft layer above, and now it is unable to erode this hard rock, it used to follow its same path, and it doesn't resembles the pattern which it should follow as per this hard rock. So this is, it means, it seems that this river has been imposed, means it has been placed over this hard rock. So that is why it is called a superimposed pattern, because this river seems to be imposed or placed over those hard rock. It doesn't seem to have means eroded the top surface and then have reached its this hard rock surface and then it is moving. So remember this. What are the examples? So you can easily figure out that all those rivers which we generally used to find over the plateaus, they are example of superimposed. For example, this Subarnarekha river. Then we have Damodar. We know that these are all over Chota Nagpur plateau. These two are over Chota Nagpur plateau. Then we have Chambal. Then we have Betwa. These both are over Malwa plateau. Then you can similarly name few other rivers which generally you used to see flowing over the plateaus. So remember this, how you will identify the superimposed river, that they will be flowing over the plateaus. Remember these few names. In examination you are given 4 options and then you will be asked that which of these follow superimposed pattern. Then you will remember this superimposed pattern, how you can identify over the plateaus. These are few names. For example, if you remember that Riva plateau, then rivers flowing over the Riva plateau, you can name them as superimposed. And antecedent, how you will remember? Those who are all rivers which are trans-Himalayan rivers, which are following their original path and flowing over the plains, cutting the Himalayas or the mountains and flowing over the plains. You should remember this. Indus. Then we have Satluj. Then we have Brahmaputra. And all. Similarly, this, if you note down this, now we will be moving to second type of drainage pattern, that is concordant. Now we will move to concordant. So we have already seen what does it mean by concordant. Here it means that the river follows underlying topography. What does this mean? It means that the surface, means whether a hard or soft surface, and gradient, means slope, gradient or slope. It means whether a high gradient or low gradient. These two will determine the path of rivers, path or course of rivers. Means the river can change its path with respect to change in the topography, mainly the surface, whether a hard surface or soft surface. This will determine the amount of erosion, and similarly gradient, this will again determine the amount of erosion and amount of changing path of the river. So in this concordant type, mainly we will see these two types. Consequent, you have already noted down consequent and subsequent. See, in what does it mean by consequent? Consequent means when a river is following, is moving under the normal slopes or in the in the normal direction as per the slope. For example, if I talk about Yamuna, we know that the slope in the northern region is from north towards this southeast. So Yamuna used to move, this is a consequent river. Yamuna used to follow this southeast direction, from where it used to follow from north to southeast direction, and this is in accordance with the slope of the northern region. Similarly, if I talk about say Godavari, then Godavari or Krishna, these are all consequent river. Why? Because these used to follow their path, their general slope. We know that the general slope in the peninsular region is from Western Ghats towards east, or so these river used to move from Western Ghats towards east coastal plains, east coastal plains, and this is the general slope for these rivers. So these are known as consequent rivers. Subsequent means coming after. So all those rivers which used to join these rivers means their tributaries. Subsequent means coming after. So tributaries of consequent rivers. Tributaries of consequent rivers, they will be called as subsequent. Will be called subsequent rivers, or they used to form this subsequent drainage pattern. Means these tributaries used to form the subsequent drainage pattern, and consequent means flowing along the slope or not flowing along normal slope. So these are consequent. So you know the tributaries. For example, if I talk about Godavari, you remember this Indravati and say Pranhita. These are the tributaries, and these will be the subsequent rivers. These will be forming the subsequent drainage pattern. Similarly, for Yamuna, if I talk about, you can remember this Chambal. Then we have Betwa. All these all these tributaries will be forming subsequent patterns. See, I have already written that these I have mentioned few examples in the superimposed pattern, that generally the rivers in the superimposed pattern used to move in the plateau region. So remember that few rivers are such like that they can have two different kind of drainage patterns. Why? Because there is so much similarity between few drainage patterns that a same river can be classified into two or three different drainage patterns. So if you find any coinciding, so don't get confused with that. Similarly, you can name few other for example, now you can name tributaries of Krishna. Then we have Tungabhadra, Bhima, Malprabha. All these tributaries will be having this subsequent drainage pattern. So remember this about consequent and subsequent drainage pattern. Next we will be seeing radial and trellis drainage pattern. Next we have dendritic. We will see here dendritic, then we will see trellis, and here we will see radial. These three means drainage patterns under this concordant. The dendritic means tree branches. So you have seen, if this is a tree, it has branches like this, no? Similarly, if branches like this, so means if a river used to form such kind of pattern, then this is known as dendritic. Then you of course remember the flow of river Ganga, and it has so many right banks and left bank tributaries. So means used to form tree-like branches. This river Ganga is a good example of this dendritic pattern. Why? Because it used to form this tree branches, means tributaries used to form tree branches for this river Ganga. So this is an example of dendritic. The trellis is also similar, but what is the difference between trellis and dendritic? That this is the main river. These tributaries which are joining this main river, in case of trellis, this will be joining at right angles, means 90 degree. For example, here it was random at any angle, means any acute angle, but here it will be 90 degree. These tributaries will be joining the main river at right angle in case of trellis. So remember this, that all dendrit means all this trellis drainage pattern means all those rivers which follow or which form this trellis drainage pattern, we can also call them as dendritic. We can call them as dendritic, but all dendritic patterns cannot be called as trellis. Why? Because for trellis we need to have this angle at which the tributaries join the main river as 90 degree angle, while in here in case of dendritic they can join at any angles. So remember this also is a means similar to dendritic. Here we can say example is Brahmaputra. Why? We have seen that in the eastern part of in the northeast India, Brahmaputra used to have tributaries like this, generally join at right angles, means both the right bank tributaries, either Manas, Subhasari, or say Sankos. Then we have Kaleng here, and then we have Buri Dihang. All these tributaries in the Brahmaputra used to join almost at 90 degree angle in the northeast region of India. So that is why we take Brahmaputra we say that Brahmaputra used to follow this trellis pattern. I hope you people are understanding and also trying to write down this. Don't get confused, because I have already told you that means drainage pattern can coincide. Means if I talk about a particular river to follow this dendritic drainage pattern, so that same river can also have some other drainage pattern. Why? Because the river is so long. In its particular portion it can say have particular pattern, in the other portion it can have some other drainage pattern. For example, here in Brahmaputra we have already seen this in the discordant pattern, and we have seen that it is a type of example of antecedent river. But I am also classifying this Brahmaputra in this trellis drainage pattern. Why? Because in the northeastern region, Brahmaputra used to, it is a trans-Himalayan river. It used to move from over Tibet. It used to follow its original path. It is hardly its path is not determined by the upliftment of that particular portion, Tibet plateau. But when it comes or reaches in the northeast portion, it used to follow this trellis type pattern. So similarly, in case of Chambal, I have classified it into superimposed pattern. But the same Chambal I have also put in the subsequent river pattern. Why? Because it is a tributary of Yamuna, so that is why I have put it into this subsequent pattern. It used to after and it also this Chambal used to follow this superimposed pattern in particular region or the particular portion of this its course or its path. So remember this. Don't get confused between that why a same river is sometimes classified into two different type of drainage patterns. So if you are clear with this and noted down this, then we will move to radial. The radial means rivers originating from a summit or a hill or top of the mountain and flowing in all directions. Different rivers flowing in all directions. The best example of this is Amarkantak plateau. Amarkantak. Assume this to be a Amarkantak plateau, and then we know that Narmada used to originate and it used to flow in this direction. Then we know that Son used to originate and then it used to flow in this direction. Then we have few other rivers which used to originate from this Amarkantak plateau and flow in different direction. So remember, this radial means rivers originating from summit and flowing in different directions. So remember, best example is Amarkantak plateau. Examples are Narmada and Son. So remember, I think you people have noted down dendritic, trellis, radial. Now we will see few other drainage patterns under this concordant pattern. You keep on drawing and writing the important points, whatever I am writing here or I am dictating, because this will help you to make proper notes, and in the examination also you can write like this. Then we have few other drainage patterns: angular, annular, rectangular, parallel, centripetal and bar. See, these are not very common drainage patterns. We see it at very few places, so it is not necessary that all of these you will easily find in India. So just understand this. What does it mean by angular? Angular means this is the main river or main river or main stream, and its tributaries are joining at acute angle. You know the meaning of acute angle? Less than 90 degree. Means if its tributaries are joining the main rivers at acute angle, that means less than 90 degrees, then we call it as angular drainage pattern. You know, most of the rivers in India, in the northern plains, they will be having this angular drainage pattern. Even in peninsular India, most of these will be having angular, because streams generally used to join the main river at this acute angles. So remember this. You can write here streams or tributaries join main river at acute angles. This is for angular. Then we have annular drainage pattern. What we have in annular drainage pattern? See, in case of radial, we have seen that river used to originate from a summit or a mountain hill, and it used to flow in all directions. What happened if the outer portion of this summit, it is a soft rock, if this portion is all soft rock, then what will happen, that these rivers which are moving in this direction, they will develop another streams which will be moving in this manner. Means the river which is flowing in this direction, it can have few streams. Due to soft rock, it may cause erosion and it may develop subsequent streams. Means subsequent streams or subsequent tributaries. Similarly, this river may develop like this, it may develop like this. Similarly, this may develop like this, this may develop like this, and this may develop like this. A stream may develop like so. You see that this used to form what? A circular shape. It used to form a circular shape drainage pattern, and that is what is known as annular drainage pattern. You can name here as circular drainage pattern. This annular is also known as circular. Why? Because if the radial streams which used to move from the summit of the mountains, if they find softer rocks ahead, then they used to develop subsequent streams which used to move in all directions in such a manner that these different streams used to form a circle type or circular shape, and that is known as annular drainage pattern. I hope you have noted down this. Then we will be moving to rectangular. See, rectangular means the main river as well as its tributaries turn at 90 degree. Means if this is the main river, it is even changing its path or turning somewhere, it will turn at 90 degree. And then its tributaries, means the tributaries of this river, for example, if this is a tributary joining here at this portion, then we will have a tributary here joining at this portion. So we can have a tributary here joining in this portion. So we see that these used to form something rectangle, a rectangular shape. So that is what is known as rectangular drainage pattern. Means tributary as well as the main river used to turn at 90 degree and used to form rectangle shape. See, example of this rectangle generally we don't find in India, but still in the Vindhyan mountain ranges or in the Pithoragarh region of Uttarakhand, you may find few small rivers or streams which have this rectangular pattern. Similarly, annular pattern, this is not a very common pattern, so generally we don't find it. But in Nilgiri hills of Tamil Nadu, in Nilgiri hills, it is seen that few rivers used to show this annular drainage pattern. Next we have parallel. Parallel here means that the streams used to flow parallel, means the tributaries used to remain parallel to each other while joining the main rivers or the main stream. See, for parallel you can see, for example, this is the main river. Then we have several of its tributaries. This one is a tributary, this one is a tributary, and this one is a tributary, this one is a tributary. These all used to flow parallel to this main river to some extent, and then later they used to join this main river at some point. Means these tributaries used to flow parallel to this main river, and these tributaries are parallel to each other, and then at particular point these used to join the main river. So this is known as parallel drainage pattern. Remember this, it is parallel drainage pattern. Draw this. You can write here, tributaries are parallel to each other and main river for some distance. For some distance, these tributaries used to move parallel to each other as well as parallel to main river. Then we have centripetal. Centripetal, by the name it suggests that there is central depression here, means a low-lying area, and most of the rivers are trying to move this towards from a higher slope toward this low-lying area. So you can, in example, you can consider the Bagmati river, or we can consider this as a central depression region, and most of the rivers from the Tibet or the Nepal region used to move towards this central depression region in the Bihar area or in the Bihar region. Most of the rivers we know from the top of the mountains, they used to flow downwards and move towards a particular point. Especially if you see Kosi, Kamla Balan, then we have Bagmati. All these three rivers generally used to join at particular place. So these used to move in such a manner that they used to form this centripetal drainage pattern, means moving towards a depression or a low-lying area. This is known as centripetal drainage pattern. Rivers moving towards center or depression area. You can note down this. Then we have barred or the barred river pattern here means an example for this river pattern is Arun river in Nepal. This is actually means this kind of pattern is actually, it shows that means river used to move against this slope. For example, generally we see that rivers used to move from a higher slope towards lower slope. But here in barred pattern, it is just opposite. It used to move against the slope. So Arun River in Nepal is an example for this barbed pattern. So you can remember this. We also have one more pattern, that is de-arranged drainage pattern. De-arranged means there was an here you can write this, means Arun River in Nepal is an example. Here you can write that this barred pattern, river used to move against the slope. Means as per as per norms they should move from higher slope to lower, but in barred pattern they used to move against the slope from lower to higher pattern. De-arranged means there existed an means earlier drainage pattern getting disturbed or de-arranged due to glacial movements. You can note down this. De-arranged means there already existed a drainage pattern, but what happens that due to movement of the glaciers, the streams and the tributaries now have changed the direction and the amount of flow of water in them. So this the earlier drainage pattern, this got de-arranged or means reshuffled, something like that. Then that is known as de-arranged pattern. This you will mainly find in the Himalayan region or small streams originating from the glaciers or of the Himalaya region. So there you will be finding this de-arranged pattern. So I hope in general you know about the meanings of these different drainage pattern, and you have also understood that what these actually mean. So in short, you can note down if in the exams it means it is asked about this, you can write the basic definition. So with this we come to an end of our main our this topic, drainage pattern and watershed. See, I have tried to cover almost all the topics in a very comprehensive manner. Means I have mainly covered them in the for the examination purpose. So if you have made down the notes from this video lectures, these will be helpful to you both in prelims examination as well as in mains examination. Now you only need to do is that you need to try few previous year questions, means which have been asked from both subjective type questions as well as objective type questions. So ending this lecture, in our next video lecture we will try to see some other topic of geography. Thank you.